So, welcome to my mini bite on Office Mix. Hi, Denise. Again, hi, Donna. Glad to see you guys are back. Again, sorry for that disruption. So, please let me know into the chat what type of presentations or training that you might do with Google Slides or PowerPoint. Any of that kind of information will help me gear this webinar a little bit more towards your needs. Okay, Melissa, or does orientation. Perfect. Melissa, would you say there are some people who cannot make orientation, but you still need to make sure that they took and understood the information? Oh, all of your orientation is online. Wow. Okay, great. Melissa, what department are you from? For graduate students. Oh, perfect. Okay. And how do you know if they um, read the information that you provided them? How do you engage? How do you provide any sort of interactivity? Oh, fantastic. So Donna says, help faculty with PowerPoint presentations. Oh, perfect. Yeah, absolutely, Donna. Definitely for online courses. Um, Okay, so you don't have an interactive component. Okay, so for everybody who's just starting out, my suggestion is start off small, don't start off big, and then you can add more as you have more and more orientations or trainings and things like that. Of course, if you want to take on starting big, you're more than welcome to, but I think it's always best to start off small, maybe with one PowerPoint. So anyway, let me get to what I want to get started with. I think this is a good tool for people who are comfortable with PowerPoint and they want to provide their team with a new protocol or a new training, help maybe students learn a new. To start off with this PowerPoint presentation that I have, and it's very basic. It's only 5 slides. It's concept of how to make an omelet. To think of something that could be familiar to everybody, and this is my example. Hope you enjoy that. Now, in the chat there, we do have the link to the Office Mix plugin. This is, I believe, just for PC users. So if you have a Mac, you might want to see if you can boot up your Mac to Windows. There are tools that do that where you can dual boot out with a Mac plugin. Plugin you may need to have administrator access to install, and if that's the case for your work machine, please call client support and they can help you do that. Once you have it installed, I found it very easy to install. It was just a few clicks. You will see that you have a new menu item when you open up PowerPoint slides. So essentially, you can do this with PowerPoint slides you already have. Or you can create new slides and add your interactivity to those slides as well. So I have my 5 slides on how to make a. Oh, also, if you're a Google Slides user, you can download your Google Slides into PowerPoint presentation and then use. So to get started, I'm going to click on the Mix menu. Oh wait, let me just check some questions here. Donna says, any limits on competitive earlier versions of PowerPoint? Donna, I do not know, but if you have earlier versions of PowerPoint and you find you're having a problem, please let me know. And then maybe we could probably try to find a way to get you an updated version of PowerPoint. So I clicked on the Mix menu item, and I hope you all can see that and see where my mouse is. And today we're just going to discuss, there's a number of buttons here, but just to get up and running and to have a quick presentation, I'm going to show you 3 buttons. The slide recording button, the quizzes and apps button, which is the next one, and the button to upload it to the Office Mix Gallery. Okay. So I already have my content, I already have my slides, so I'm going to go ahead and record my slides. When I click on slide recording, it changes the entire screen to like something with a darker frame, and these are the buttons I get to use to make my recording. Okay, ready to record. I'm going to hit record here, but I'm not going to do that. As I'm talking through each slide, I will hit the next slide to go on to the next slide and narrate my presentation. Towards the bottom here, or on the side here, I can, if I want to, turn on my camera. So let me try that. Create a camera with my laptop. I'm in a fairly dark room. But just to make this as easy as possible, I'm not going to leave the camera on, but you can do that if you want to on your presentations. I have my microphone set, and you can see that the status bar on the microphone is moving, so I know it will record my voice. And then down towards the bottom, this menu item that says inking. You have fine point, medium point, and thick point. I'm going to click on the thick point, and then I'm going to choose a color. I'm going to choose a color that's kind of opposite of what my theme is. So I'm going to choose this bright yellow. So that way you can really see when I draw on my PowerPoint slides. Okay. So I'm going to get to recording in just a second. I'm going to check and see if there are any questions. Angela says, do you have to plug in a microphone to your PC? Angela, you don't, but if you want to narrate, you do need to have some sort of microphone to narrate to your slides. So let me show you what I'm doing in case there's any question about exactly what we're doing here. So I'm going to hit record, and again, I'm not going to have video. I'm just going to record my voice. How to make an omelet. Scramble 3 eggs. Oh, let me use my add butter to a hot pan thoroughly, and then slide your omelet onto a plate. Done. Okay, so I just added narration to my slides, and that is it. Okay, I can preview the slide recording, but I'm not going to do that here because it won't work in this webinar. What I'm going to do is add just a couple more things. I'm going to add a quiz, and then I'm going to send you guys the link, and you guys can take my slides or take my watch my presentation and then answer the questions. After we do that, we can see the analytics of how it looks when people answer your questions. Okay, so I'm done here. I'm done with the narration, and I'm going to hit close. This will bring me back to the PowerPoint window so I can edit my PowerPoint if I want to. The last thing I want to do is add a quiz. And I want to add this quiz at the end of my slideshow. You can add your quiz throughout your slideshow if you want to, but just for this presentation, I'm going to do it at the end. Add a new slide. Right-click and click on New Slide. This one, take a quiz. And I'm going to click on the Quiz Video Apps button. Brings me to this Lab Apps for Office. If I click on the store and it's loading, a lot quicker. If I click on this, let that load, because in my apps under here, since I've already used this product, I have two options for quizzes. But if you don't see any options for quizzes, you can go to the store and add them. Okay. And for some reason, this is taking a while. Okay, there we go. So you can choose the type of questions you want to add or the type of functions you want to add. You can add like a true false here. Um, some of this other stuff, I don't know what it is, but I do know what a multiple choice quiz is. So I can add it by clicking on the add button. As we wait while it loads, can you make quizzes mandatory to continue in the presentation? That's a good question. And I don't know the answer right off the bat. But since since people have to sign in you can make people sign in to see the questions or to answer the questions, and then therefore you'll definitely know who took the quiz and who didn't. So so there's that point. Let's go forward and let's see if I can find a way to do that. But I don't know offhand if you can do that. Okay, so I just made the box a little bit bigger by dragging the corner. Okay. And the first thing we see here is the font size. I suggest you make the font size bigger. You can have big, medium, or small. Font size is quite small. And then here you can type in the question. So you just erase this. Right. Then I can allow for a single choice only, for multiple choices, so they can pick um, a few that they agree with. I can shuffle answers to make it seem like more like a test. I can allow for retry, or I can limit attempts to only one if I want to. I can allow for retry for right now and type in my options here. So the first one I'm going to say is bananas. Second one I'm going to say is toast. I'm going to add another question or another answer actually. And since this is the correct answer, since eggs is the correct answer, I'm going to check it off to select it as the correct answer. We have bananas, toast, eggs. I have an extra option here, and if I don't want it, I can just delete it using this trash. And then I can add some feedback. So for example, if they picked bananas, I can write something like, you're close, but this is not correct. I don't know how bananas is a close guess, but this is just for toast. Toast is a side dish. I can preview my question if I want to. Incorrect, and then they get my feedback here. Eggs, and submit. Correct, and then it moves on to the end of the slideshow. Last thing I want to do, just to tidy it up, is to just write, thank you for taking my presentation, or something to let somebody know that this is the end of the presentation. Okay, so I added my narration. I added my quiz, and now I want to upload it to Office Mix and then share it with you all. So let me show you how easy that can be. So this is the third button I'm going to use, upload to Office Mix. We're going to put it on Microsoft's servers. And here it's Mix, share it with others. So I'm just going to click Next. It'll prompt me to sign in, and please take special note on how you have to sign in. We're going to use our sign in with a work or school account. Okay, since university, we're all part of the Microsoft Office license, and students can use this. This is considered their school account. This is considered our work account. So we can click on that. And then if you've never signed in before, you'll see this screen where it asks for your email address. So that would be your Stony Brook email address. Put that in. And if you try to click to the password part, it's just going to move to the next screen. So then it's going to ask you to sign in to the domain. And the way you do that, again, is you sign in with your Stony Brook email address. You notice that the domain changes to stonybrook.edu, which is exactly what we want when we sign into Microsoft Office products. And then you want to put in your NetID password. I'm not going to enable playback on mobile devices because this is just for a demonstration. Quickly. So now it's uploading to the my Mix servers, and while it's doing that, I'm going to check for any questions. Can you just use the Google sign-in instead? Well, uh, it's sort of already using the Google sign-in. If you're signing in from google.com, you'll have to sign in with your email address, and then you have to put in your NetID and ID password. But you know, because there's a number of ways to sign into our Google account. So that's it's not a straightforward answer for you, but it's essentially the same account. You know, it's our email address and our NetID password. To make sure you're signing into the right domain. And when you're signing into Google, you know, it makes sure you're signing into the correct domain as well. Anna says, when I sign in with the Microsoft account, it makes my local machine use that sign in. That might be something I have to look at because I'm not quite sure what it's showing you. So you can feel free to send me a screenshot if you want. That'll help me a lot. Okay, so I'm going to go to Show Me My Mix, and it's going to take me online. It's going to open up a web browser. And I have here my title, which I see a spelling mistake. So I'm going to fix that. Okay. And I'm going to put a date on there so I know that this is I can add a description if I want. I can add a category if I want, but I'm just going to leave it as is because it works perfectly fine that way. The sharing and permission settings. So if you look at this, right now it's on organization. So anyone within the organization, which means anyone who has a @stonybrook.edu email, the Stony Brook domain, can log in and see this. I can change it so that anyone with the link must log in, or anyone can view the video, but they might not be able to take the exam. I haven't played with that yet. And then I can make it public so that it can be searched for in the Office Mix gallery that's listed up here. I'm just going to leave it as a default because I want you all to sign in and you all to take the test. Okay. I don't have to use these buttons to email or share or embed it in a website. What I like to do is copy this URL, put it in the chat here. It's in the chat. Please click on that link and try to sign in and take it for yourself. And then let me know what issues you are having as far as signing in. Remember, when you sign in, you want to choose Microsoft Work account. And then you want to type in your email address again. You have to type it in twice. Then it's your NetID password. And then come back to this. I'll give you about 2 minutes to go through that. And then meanwhile, I'll answer any questions that you might have. But please let me know if you have any problems entering into. So, Donna, I'm rereading your question, and it says it defaults to a Microsoft login. So I think what you're saying is that log in with your Stony Brook credentials. I'm gonna wait to see what you're writing now so I can. As a note, I can't preview this because you won't hear it, so that's why I figured I'd send everybody the link. Okay, this is a Windows PC, so the Microsoft account credential supersedes the local account setting. I had to reset it. Wow, Donna, I could, if that is the solution, I am thoroughly impressed because I would never have come up with that solution. You are definitely um, definitely got it going on over there. Ann is typing. So I'm wondering if anyone has had any trouble getting in. Oh, great. So, Diane, is it safe to say you got in and you took the quiz? Oh, perfect. Okay. All right. There's a few people who are writing comments, so I'm just gonna read some of those comments and I'm gonna switch over to the analytics. See who took the test and who did not. Okay, Donna. You know what? After this workshop, I have to make one phone call, but then later on in the day, um, I might like to see what's going on to get a better understanding, because this might help others who might also have a problem signing in, who might also have Windows 10. On this computer, I'm running Windows 7. All right, so now I'm in the My Mix environment here. And you can get to My Mix by going to mix.office.com, the same link that I sent you in the chat. And I'm going to click on My Mixes. Actually, I forgot to hit save here, but I didn't make any changes, so it's okay. On my mixes, and I have two mixes. I have one that I was, just that I played around with starting 7 months ago, and I have today's. Okay. So if I click on the details here, it's just going to bring me back to that screen where I can grab the link and look at a preview and change the permission settings. If I look at the analytics and click on 5 visitors, all right. So it doesn't look like it recorded anyone's quizzes. And having played around with this for quite a while and other applications as well, I'm going to suggest that if I let it be, it's not instantaneous, so if I let it sit for 10 minutes, then it'll show me who visited and things like that. So I have a backup plan. I'm going to go back to my mixes, and I'm going to show you the analytics of um, what one of my first mixes. We'll see at the end of this presentation if it actually recorded the visitors. So what this does is it's showing me by slides how many people looked at my slides. So I know I had 7 visitors to each one of these slides. It's only a 3-slide presentation. So I know that everyone made it through to the end of the presentation. So if you have 30 slides and you don't see 30 visitors on each slide, you'll know that they tapered off at some point during your presentation. If I click by visitors, it will show me the progress of each visitor who came to my presentation and completed the quiz. So I can see that Julie and Mary and Sandra and Tara all completed my quiz. I only had one quiz, and they all got it correct. Okay? And so that's how you know who took the quiz and who didn't. If you're using this to grade students, there's your roster of who came into the training or the presentation, and then who took the quiz. And then also you have a column to let you know what the correctness of their quiz. And then by exercise, I've looked at that briefly, and it just shows, what they answered for each question, and there was only one question, so everyone answered true. I asked, is mix a good assessment tool, and everyone answered true, and everyone got it correct. Go back. So you got details, analytics, discussion. If anyone wanted to say, comment about the presentation, you can open that up and then they can write back and forth, similar to a discussion board like on Blackboard. They can download the presentation. If you allow them, they can download the video. And if you don't want to use this mix any longer, you can delete the mix. Oh, okay. That's good to know that you couldn't access it in Chrome, but it worked in Firefox. That's very interesting. Um, by default, when I went to my mixes, it opened up in Firefox for me. So that's definitely something to take a look at. And Stuart writes, when you sign into Office Mix, use your work or school sign-on to use, yeah, you definitely have to do that. You have to make sure you use the work or school sign-in, and then sign in with your email address, kind of twice, and then use your NetID password along with that email address. So that's basically my entire presentation on Office Mix. It was very, very scaled down. I do realize that there's more buttons on here, but I just wanted to make it very simple. And all we did, we used a slide recording, we used the Quizzes app, and then we uploaded it to Office Mix. If this is something you want to do for yourself and you run into any snags, please feel free to reach out to me, and then we can work over the phone. I can connect to your computer, and we can explore more of this to do what you want to do. I also am working on another presentation on how to add narration to your slides. and then saving your slides as a movie and then uploading that to YouTube. When you do that, you can do a number of things like when you add a video to YouTube, you can add closed captioning, which is, words written on the screen so people. And then also you can embed YouTube videos into a Google form to create more of a quiz where you ask your students to or your attendees to watch the video and then answer some questions in a Google form. So that's something that I'm working on, and if you're interested in that, please look out for my next workshop on that sort of thing. Donna, you're asking if I am using Microsoft Expression Encoder 4 for the video editing. I don't really know. I'm just using what's on my computer. That's something a little bit more. I can take a look and I'll get back to you separately. But anyway, I'm being kicked out of the room, so I will send you a follow-up email, and you can ask me any questions from that email. And I thank you very much for attending, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you all very much.